Damn, son.
Off of
Hey guys,
like people eat
welcome.
cupcakes off the
Well, you
pool
talk-
noodle with old people water on it.
Every time, every time with the Flatback Show, you catch the tail end of Corey always. Nerd Waffle always talking. Hey guys, welcome to the Flatpack Show. People are already in the chat. We've got Shinobi Raccoon and Nikki Harris. They're saying the music. I didn't play our usual intro music. I played your IndieGoGo trailer music, which is kick-ass, by the way. So
Oh, the Vosto track, yeah, that's
Mm.
Vosto synthwave. He made a got to make a DEATHSWORN
yeah,
sort of theme song.
Yeah, it's really kick-ass. So yeah, welcome to the Flatpack Show. I'm your host, Flattmeister. I've got with me my co-hosts, Switchpoint.
What's up?
And we've got Nerd Waffle as well.
Bonjour.
Go ahead.
We haven't got Crumple Point, unfortunately, couldn't make it again. But we have special guest. We've got Top of the Morning. How do you say your name? Is it Karl O Rowe? Karl O Rowe?
Yeah, that's it.
Is how you say it. So we've got Karl O Rowe. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I'm so bad at telling people about myself. I'm nothing, man. It's DEATHSWORN who's the main show. But yeah, I'm Karl. I'm from Ireland. I make comic books.
Okay, so we'll just making sure you make comics. I'm joking with you. No, at the same time,
He doesn't make tuna salad sandwiches, okay? So stop asking him.
Oh dear, oh my. We definitely have some. Karl's comic looks amazing. And I also want to point out, there's been some good news here for folks. If anybody here was interested in boomer shooters or like old fashioned like Duke Nukem style shooters, Voidpoint and 3D Realms have basically said suck it to censorship, and you can go pick up Ion Fury today. The Oge hand soap will definitely still be there, and it'll be the proud brand. As a bi Lebanese guy, I will gladly stand up for Oge hand soap. And
So
you can feel honored picking it up on behalf of me. You can tell them I sent you.
Just don't drop the
house. Isn't that the game that Iron Maiden went after?
Iron Maiden went after it, and that's why they had to change the name to Ion Fury. Then they had like the censorship of Reset Era trying to go after them. They were going to Stride. The PR team was going to try to force them to censor the game, but then they said no, we're not going to censor it. Basically, they went to speak with Sophia Narwitz. Thank you very much, Sophia. Who she's a trans woman who went to speak to them, an actual journalist. She's actually very amazing. I actually recommend checking out her channel and checking out her article on this. She has indicated that yes, like she's checked out with them. There was a lot of misunderstanding of what was going on about because the thing is, here's something that American SJWs don't understand. American culture isn't the only culture in the world. A lot of the people who work for the company are from Sweden, Finland, certain parts of all over the world. So some of the stuff they didn't even realize would even be considered a problem in the U.S. So I have a question for you. Who's the actual racist?
Race car drivers.
It's the Swedish, clearly. No. But yeah, no, the game's actually really fun. It is not easy on you though. It is slightly harder than Duke Nukem. Not quite as hard as like the classic Shadow Warrior, I would say. So be prepared. They're going to kick your ass if you're not ready. But let's continue on because Karl is the main attraction of the show. I just wanted to get that out of the way because the news came out this week on that.
I want to apologise, Karl, because my co-host Corey or Nerd Waffle, it was months ago. He went, "Oh, we need to message the guy who this comic called DEATHSWORN." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll get around to doing that." And I think I had I just forgot about it. I didn't. It took me ages to eventually. I kept forgetting the name of the comic. I'm like, "Oh crap! I need to message that guy."
What's it called? Swear death or something like that?
But yeah,
I've had
eventually
people call it Death Sword. I've had people call it Death Swarm.
Life Sworn.
It sounds like a movie about killer bees,
I mean,
like a bee movie about killer
Now I'm
bees.
disappointed that it's not.
Well, okay. So if it's a bee movie and it's about killer bees, I mean, like, you have to at least let me know. Is are you planning to get
Jerry Seinfeld.
yeah, Jerry Seinfeld to, like,
Oh God.
star in it? Well, like, he's all about the bees.
No, what it will
deal
actually
with
be about?
death?
It will be about that guy. I think he's an old school Spider-Man bad guy. I think he's called something like the Swarm or something. It's going to be about these killer bees that all form a giant being, and that giant being is Jerry Seinfeld.
I shouldn't joke about this, but I think that being should be Macaulay Culkin reincarnated from that movie My Girl or whatever. Where I don't know. That's a terrible joke.
Oh God, that's terrible. Okay, because like the story of that character.
Move ahead. Move on.
You're like, nope. He's allergic to bees. We should stop now.
Yes.
Shinobi Raccoon says, "DEATHSWORN sounds like the name of an 80s metal band."
The name came before
an 80s
before the character, but the name itself came before I even had the main guy.
Yeah.
So I was like,
the helmet. It looks like if you were to do like a futuristic mod on Skyrim, it looks like the helmet is pretty much like the same as like that. The iron helmet in Skyrim with the horns on the side. If you do a futuristic mod to Skyrim.
Yeah, well, when I came to make him, I mean, it's kind of I can go through the whole sort of main sort of cast and stuff because it's sort of weird how it all came about. But it was the female lead, which is as like I came up with the whole bad guys for the whole book, which was the Dark Stars. And I heard some weird like Russian name. I think it was a model or something. It sounded like phonetically, if you were to just read a name, it sounded like Tatiana Darkstar. And I was like, that's a cool name. I was doing some space vampire stuff already, and I was like, that'd be cool for like a space vampire princess thing. I kind of worked backwards from the name because I was like, Darkstar, like, how could you get the name Darkstar? And I was like, well, how about instead of being afraid of the sun, these guys like suck suns, they live on sunlight. And so they have like amassed this giant empire, suns, sapping all their energy and using it to power, all their empire. And that's how she came about, and that's like how the main bad guys came about. And then because I just wanted to make logos, and then DEATHSWORN came about.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, well, DEATHSWORN, I was like, that's weird. It was Halloween night, like 2016. I wasn't doing anything. And I was like really angry with college and stuff. And I was like, I want to like make something that's going to really break me out there. Like I don't know why I couldn't promote myself, couldn't get out there, couldn't get people looking at my stuff. A guy that I can promote, like a guy that I'm going to turn into my signature. So he has to be like iconic, has to have like really good silhouette of like take a Frazetta barbarian and put him in space fantasy. And I kind of drew the first silhouette, and he was off, he's purple and he had like weird looking hair and stuff. But here, and then like in the next couple of days, I kind of got him down to what he is now. And then I had that name and that logo sitting around for DEATHSWORN. This is this guy. That's his name. Like, this is him. And then all these other characters I already had just came back into it, and we have DEATHSWORN.
I can't. Go ahead.
So what's the premise of the book?
So the Dark Stars are an empire, sun-stealing solar vampires for suns to fuel their takeover. And and by doing this, they've enslaved like hundreds of thousands of planetary systems. Like by enslaving, they have these giant space stations that wrap around these suns, and they suck all the energy out of it, and then they trade sunlight with the planets like within that system. So they'll go down and be like, okay, you give us this amount of slaves to work this space station, the sun station, 2 hours light a day. We'll give you 3 hours light a day or whatever. You know, they'll bargain with them, kind of like a mafia shakedown, and they can relay sunlight from across different galaxies, different solar systems, and stuff. Wake, they've just left, you know, completely broken, devastated people. People are willing to wage this personal war against them, and that's DEATHSWORN.
I mean, yeah, the art is fantastic, isn't it?
It is. I'm just looking at, like, you know, you've got back to how, you know, comics appreciated the female form, weren't afraid to have women wearing, you know, revealing their skin, showing a bit of skin, embracing their femininity. I mean, these women, like, you can't see their eyes in their helmets. Like, they're wearing these. I'm trying to think what those helmets remind me of. Like, there's a bit of samurai kind of vibe to them, with like the bits that point upwards. Yeah, it's quite creepy that you can't see their eyes at all.
They're like these kind of elite assassins that are. Yeah. That guy there, he's the prince. That's the twin brother of the main female lead, and all full on for the Empire. He wants to take over for his dad. He thinks he can run it way better than him. And when he's sent off on this mission, he's given this kind of elite group of take care of them. And yeah, they come around, and they're one of my favorite designs in the whole thing. I think they're pretty cool. They're like weird vampire samurai, like but new sort of thing. And removing the eyes is cool. I mean, it's one of these weird story things you get into, but Warner is kind of like a really hard character to write, because it's like you kind of have to ask yourself, like, this person's head off, like, you know, because he's not a nice guy. Like, he starts off and he's at his worst, you know. A way to make the female lead Tatiana special in the whole story, and so she's really like the only character in the whole kind of book, apart from these guys and some other that pop up that are background stuff. But I wanted to kind of emphasize, you know, her sort of like individuality, you know, and a lot of that comes from having, you know, being able to see into someone's eyes, being able to see them emote as a fully fleshed out character, and these other sort of females that populate the whole scene that are really just these dangerous, and they're like sort of sexual attributes are emphasized, but all their sort of individuality is taken away. So it gives a good mood to the book, that you get this special feeling around Tatiana.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I get that when I read it.
Yeah, all of the armor and stuff they're wearing is really, it's got that futuristic retro vibe to it. It's like, even like just all these sleek, like the ships they're in, like these sleek black and reds that sort of go with their armor.
It's good. They're kind of, I don't know, like, if you guys have specific things to talk about, but I'll nerd out about some of the weird creative stuff I do behind this. But all the factions are sort of broken down with colors, you know. There are this technological force that's taken over what's natural, destroying the organic world. You know, all their blacks are glossy. You know, they're synthetic blacks. They're latexy. They're glossy, and you know, they have these deep magentas.
Oh,
sorry.
How do you go?
I don't know if am I delaying?
I'm not sure. Go on, Switch. Or who was still talking? Oh, I think.
Oh no, we lost Switch.
I think you lagged out a bit there, Switch. You there, Switch? No. Go on, Carl. If you carry on what you're saying.
But yeah, so they have like these deep magentas, these deep reds, deep oranges. It's all synthetic, you know. It's not like natural occurring colors. And Tatiana, who is sort of you know, she's the rebel princess. She doesn't really know where she stands on all this. You know, she doesn't like what the Dark Stars are doing. She thinks that they're destroying so much of the galaxy they won't have anything left to live in. But she doesn't really want to. She can't destroy them because that's her family. You know, as much as she might not like them.
Yeah. So
But
so unsure where her loyalties lie.
You know, within her, she's the only Dark Star that actually has brown. You know, instead of having the black boots, she has brown in her costume. So you're bringing that natural color and that earthy natural color in, and it kind of allegiance, you know. And then there's space pirates in the book, earthy colors. They're all greens and earthy reds and like creams and lots of brown. Like all their buckles, everything's all brown, and a lot of rusty ones. Like the proper space pirates are like rusty, like proper rusted up. So they're, you know, they're scavengers. They're of this old world, of this old sort of earth, left in the dirt, left in the wake of this technological force. And then you kind of have DEATHSWORN. DEATHSWORN is like the only blue guy, and that's like when you say in the futuristic or retro. I was like, yeah, he's like barbarian, but he's militaristic. He's like technological, but he's savage. You know.
Yeah.
Broken down like a cool, like little color, sort of like thematic colors throughout it.
Yeah. This one of them fighting off these feral ghoul type creatures.
They're
like in their wrecked ship.
Yeah. So yeah, when the Dark Stars go and they take over a sun and then they enslave all the planets and stuff, they'll start mining into the planets and sap all the planets of minerals and stuff, and they'll, you know, make all the people who live in those planets work as slaves in those mines. And the second the sun's depleted and all the planets are depleted, the Dark Stars just up and leave. They just up and go. There's another planetary system for them to take over. So all the people who were working there, all the people who used to live there, are just left. They're just left in this eternal dusk, you know, with like flares barely lighting up the sky. And they just turn insane. They turn into cannibals. They start eating each other. They become scared of the light. They live inside the rocks, and so they're a couple of cannibal mutants.
Are they? Would you say that they were fine young cannibals? And would they have been driven crazy?
You don't. Is this? I don't know what the reference is.
Sorry, it's a band, the Fine Young Cannibals, and you drove me.
Oh. Yeah,
that's Corey's humor for you. It took me a while to get what he was meaning then.
Yeah, I think even Corey doesn't understand himself half the time. It's okay.
Yeah, it's true. I'd say more than half the time. Sometimes I just kind of go and I'm like, where am I even going with this?
The world may never know.
But I'll never let on that you know. I'll always be like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Exactly. He knows. He knows exactly where he knows exactly what he's doing, how he's working. Don't worry, it makes sense.
Anyways, go on.
I mean, where am I picking up from the Fine Young Cannibals joke? Or
yes.
What era are the Fine Young? I'm like, I didn't just want to talk about the Fine Young Cannibals now. What era were they from?
I think it was the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
just like crappy pop punk.
Yeah, I was scrolling down in the on the IndieGoGo, and there's this beautiful panel. Again, it sort of screams Frank Frazetta's, you know, Conan the Barbarian, but with this sort of sci-fi militaristic look, and he's sort of sat on this futuristic looking throne, sorry. And that would hurt.
Soviet Russia crowned his throne.
And he's sat on this really cool looking throne with these beautiful women all round his feet in very cool looking barely anything really. So I've got
yeah, well, that's sort of go trip sort of part of the story. But DEATHSWORN kind of faces down a potential future version of himself, and past version of himself and like the shadow version of himself. You should see the shadow version. Shadow version is like that guy in the chair, but like times 100.
Yeah.
He's crazy looking.
Nikki Harris in the chat is saying that would make an awesome poster.
Yeah, but yeah, I was totally going for all those. Yeah, Conan Barbarian
I
scene.
think one of my
Tatiana is like decked out in his Empress gear. He's on the Dark Star throne. He has the bounty hunter there beside him, Dominic. He's like the comedy relief. He doesn't really shut up, and so he has him like by his side as his knight, and he has him muzzled.
Yeah,
he has like a cool skull muzzle on him.
Yeah, I noticed that. What was
totally
that on
off with his hand.
The thumbnail on the front cover? It's like a futuristic looking rapier.
It's like it's a pretty cool thing. It like extends and has this cool little hook at the end, and it kind of has like a light beam going up the end of it. And so when he's using it, figure out how to do it the best way. But when he's using it, I'm hoping that I can a little light coming out of it, so you can kind of see his motion,
Yeah,
like in a really cool sort of way.
Yeah, that's really cool aesthetic. That.
Yeah, my favorite panel on the IndieGoGo site is the one. Yeah, the one where it's got like her foot and it's got him coming out of the water or whatever. It's got the sort of great stuff going on.
Crazy synth wavy looking background, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like I was trying to come up with like a weird ethereal plane for that world. Oh, maybe it should be some sort of like weird, watery place, dark place with skulls and stuff. And stupid, man. I have all this like weird, synthwavy retrowave imagery that I go along with it. I'm like, just do a decade, do a whole weird retrowave landscape,
Yeah.
Yeah, those panels up there were a pain to figure out, man, where he's getting kind of like the dripped off of him. It's all turning into electricity and stuff.
Yeah. No, that is really cool.
So I understand that you also didn't you, because we had the guy, the Super Harem, the creator of Super Harem on a few weeks ago, and you did you guys? I think I saw you do like a collaboration, you guys, at one point or something.
Yeah, I did the pinup poster thing.
Yeah,
the triggering pinup poster for his campaign, which is worse than anything that you'll find in DEATHSWORN. DEATHSWORN is I don't know, PG-13 or something.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
For the people watching at home, we did have Matt Wenger on.
Family's a bunch of vampires.
We had him on a few weeks ago, didn't we? It was his. What was it? Knoxville, Tennessee. He's from, like, really strong accent that he had.
Oh, he had a very strong accent, yeah.
Try doing him.
He's a good guy, though.
Yeah, no, Wenger's the best, man. Story we talked about before.
Hey, man, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. My new comic, Super Harem. You might want to go buy a copy so it'll trigger the fuck out of everybody.
No, it worked. I mean, it worked. You got some of the bigger SJW types too, or if you want to call them that, I guess. You got some of them to really talk about. Like literally, I heard through the grapevine because like I'm blocked from Renfamous, but apparently, I was seeing pictures of like Renfamous being like super triggered by it. Like these are the type of comics they want to make. I'm like, you do realize that like this comic was a joke, right? Like it is in parody, right? Like
I've had that pinup poster has been criticized by so many SJW types, and they never you tell me that the perspective on the red solo cup is wrong, that the pinballs don't like pinballs, that maybe I draw like nipples too small or something, but they never pay, like they'll never give me credit, they'll like do some pretty good feet on that fucking pinup, guys.
I mean, yeah. No, I think you did a fantastic job on it. I thought the colors were really well done. I thought the overall The overall enticing nature of it like was good. Like it definitely got the actual like it definitely got the attention of the eye there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was trying to go for like a Grand Theft Auto loading screen sort of vibe with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I could definitely feel
Cell
it.
shading and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I'll be right back, guys. I apparently have to restart my computer. You continue on without me. I just have to restart my computer. I'll be right back.
I was like, oh yeah, I just noticed on the cup it has your name on it, Karl O Rowe 19.
Yeah. It's one of the, when I like when I do any sort of commission or whatever, that's always because I never think of signing it, and then I kind of sign it at the end, and I'm like, what can I just put this onto? I think and someone's turning in. Someone said it's like I'm doing a weird product line because there was another commission I did where there was ammo crates, and I signed on the ammo crates, and so it looks like I'm building this weird brand of like I'm just signing objects.
Custom ammunition.
We got an awesome question by Nikki Harris. Thank you for subbing to the channel as well. He asks, if they made a movie next year, who would you like to play your characters?
I don't think I can cast this movie in current year. I have to pick from all different types of years because there's direct references in this kind of book to people. So I mean, you know, Kurt Russell, prime Kurt Russell.
I was thinking that.
Yes, where is it? There was one of your concept pieces at the bottom of the Kickstarter. Sorry, IndieGoGo.
Starter. We don't use that
heresy
mongrel site over here.
Here we go. It's where you've done of an emissary called Razor, and it's got like all these different ones you've gone through. And then there's this one where he looks like Snake Plissken from Escape from New York and LA.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I have any pictures of him on the campaign page with the helmet off, which is kind of a stupid idea. I should have put up.
Yeah, there's this one with his helmet off. He's got sort of stripes.
Yeah, with the war paints. Yeah, but I mean like from the actual book. Oh no, wait. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there's the ones where he's sort of coming out of the ethereal weird.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's DNA is definitely in there, but just not enough that I have to face a lawsuit. It's totally not Kurt Russell.
Yes, you would totally.
But yeah, no, if I was to cast it, it would be prime from New York, Kurt Russell. You could even stretch it into like Escape from LA, Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
But it'd be that Kurt Russell, Dominic Danger, the bounty hunter guy, the guy with the futuristic rapier. That would be Brandon Fraser from The Mummy.
Yeah.
That period. That guy. Who would be
Tatiana?
Tatiana. I've always had like a weird. I don't know who. It's just, like I try to draw with strong features. All the Dark Stars are kind of. They all have weird Eastern European names, and they're all Eastern European influence. So I try to give them like those strong features.
What about
any actors where I'm like
Lucy Lawless?
I don't know, I'm getting a very very like Evelyn kind of feel from her.
Meg Foster.
Yeah, like Meg Foster, Evelyn. Like I don't know. I like her design though. Like it's really well done. It's just like but if I were to print her down, like I'm getting like a very much like there's kind of like that aspect to her, maybe a little bit of like the movie version of Gamora, but like not quite. I don't know, something like she kind of has like a mixture of like I think you're going with like all kinds of different badass like space gals kind of feel with her. That's like when I look at Tatiana, at least that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, it's weird because I made her without thinking of her in this whole kind of weird retro sort of 80s thing.
Yeah.
That was for its benefit because when I was making it, I was just putting my personal taste in it. And I think a lot of people that kind of go into these things, they would try to make it too nostalgic or too retro-y, you know, and they wouldn't come up with her the way she is. If I didn't develop the Dark Stars already as they were, she would have kind of. I think it would have been tough to come to. But I mean, I don't know. That's an impossible thing to even think of because I already came to it. But all got chick in space, badass, Gamora, Lucy Lawless going on. Everything's there.
But she doesn't age, does she, Lucy Lawless? She does not age at all.
She kind of ages. I can see it though. I just looked it up, and yeah, I can definitely. Yeah, I told you that's a excellent choice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll just bring it up for the people at home. Who I mean, I'm sure you know.
She even has like the sort of Cena hair. Give her some of those weird elf ears.
So like you don't have the crazy wild like night elf ears like in WoW.
They just have little pointy vampires. They all have weird hair and weird stuff. Her brother has a devil lock, a full on devil lock. He's going full on Misfit style.
Oh yeah.
Misfits the band or the show?
Man, dude, what's the show? Is that superhero show?
Brilliant. Yeah,
Misfits is that? Yeah, it's the superhero show from that.
It was. I mean, it was good, and then it wasn't so good. But it was when it was good, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was. Well, the Misfits show was done in the UK. The first 2 seasons are really good, and after that, it kind of goes downhill. If you ask me.
Yeah.
You got into the one underneath that to the left. Right now it's way over to the right. Sorry, I'm catching up on the YouTube.
We're going to be a few seconds behind. Yeah.
What was that? Sorry. Did you mean when I was still on the Lucy Lawless?
Oh, okay. Oh, we're like a second behind, are we, on YouTube?
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought the page back up of the images, which
I think he was like looking at the one with the short black hair.
Short black hair.
Let me see.
I don't think I scrolled that far down. Is it this one?
Again, we're still not caught up with you yet.
Yes.
Oh my god, I didn't know how long the lag was on
well, like there's a reason for that. It's so people can't stream snipe you as easily.
No one stream snipes Flattmeister.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The one we're on, yeah.
Let me.
Side by side.
No, I think you're gone. You're gone. No,
Side by
Hey,
side
you are.
Oh yeah,
gone.
there. Yeah. We got it.
Oh no, you did get the right one. You did get the right one. The one. Yeah, the one with the.
That would actually be really good casting, man.
Mm.
She looks fierce there. If you do like, I don't know if they'd get the right contacts or whatever. I gave the Dark Stars like they kind of have Gambit eyes, where the whites of their eyes are all black, and then their pupils are all like kind of glowy red.
Yeah.
Yeah, before it's funny. I was talking about how I came to her design and stuff, and if I tried to do it in this weird nostalgia way. But there were some things that the weird sort of retro, cool '80s influence made better, because when I originally developed the Dark Stars, part of the idea of them stealing sun and stuff was going to be that there would be like a and the Emperor would be, they would represent by light, by like how illuminous you'd be or how glowy you would be or whatever. And I had this idea that the Emperor would just be like this light, like he'd just be this figure of light. It sounds stupid, like sounds fucking like.
Well, no,
imagine how to fight light. Like how would I draw that? How would I color that? The most boring thing to look at ever. Just a fucking giant light bulb.
Here, I'll get you a picture and I'll share it on Discord there. I got an idea of how you would do that.
It'd be like, remember Mr. Burns was like that glowy dude?
Oh, you beat me to it! Yeah, that's the one I was going to share. That's what I was going to share to you. I was going to share that. That's the idea I had, that what it would look like to fight. Let me just...
Yeah, when I came to doing when DEATHSWORN, got the whole thing, got the whole idea for a story down. Idea of like giving her a brother came in because I needed someone to chase them. I needed some like force behind them that was coming after them. After I made him, I was like, well, I have to make this Emperor look. what it would be like.
Yes! Do that! Do
Someone
that!
needs, I have a fan art competition going on right now. If someone doesn't draw this, you have to draw this. You have to draw DEATHSWORN killing that Mr. Burns thing.
Oh god.
This can be
Alright,
his
so-
henchman.
So you guys heard it here live. Apparently, you have you'll have the Mr. Burns. Flag can share the pictures online. Like
yeah, I've got it up. Yeah.
If there's one that's Mr. Burns drawing, it's not from me. I'm just gonna say it right now.
like, exactly.
See, he could have his own henchman. No, don't hurt Mr. Burns. I mean the light thing. Don't hurt the light thing.
Dude, that's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, when I came to kind of remaking it, Franklin Jala's Skeletor, when he turns into the Golden God Skeletor, and I was like, I'm just gonna take something that looks like that, like make it all Kirby looking, all in black, and he kind of.
So big question here. So you have the art contest going on. Is there like does anyone get like any winnings? Like maybe their art piece gets to show up like at the end of your like it's a little bonus page at the end of your book, or
I don't know about that yet, because I mean that's something that's kind of a big thing to figure out, you know, because you can add like 6 extra pages, or you can add any number of extra pages.
Yeah.
To feature all this stuff, or I can put it in black and white. I can put it in the Ashcan or whatever. But so that's something that I'm just gonna come to when it comes to that. Right
Fair
now,
enough.
there are prizes. The third prize. So the first prize is you get the whole featured bundle. So you get DEATHSWORN Book 1, you get the 46-page black and white Ashcan, and you get a sketch card. In second place, you just get the signed comic and a sketch card. And in third place, you get the Ashcan and a sketch card.
Okay. I think that those are some pretty cool things you can get anyway. I think it's I think anyway, like I think people definitely should if you're artistically inclined, or even if you're not artistically inclined, you just want to have some fun, just join this. Go ahead, you guys have fun with the contest. Reach out.
I already have my idea. No one steal it.
No one steal. Check out with Karl O Rowe on Twitter if you have any questions about like details for the contest, or like if there's any specialty rules, he'll probably let you know. But I don't think
I don't have any rules for it. It's pretty open, because again, I don't know what I'm really going to be doing with these pieces, but I'll contact people if I do. And it's open. It ends. This date I have set now is the 10th of September. And then, yeah, I mean, I was thinking I might extend it, but I might just do a whole nother round and give away some more stuff. But
a rule, though, would be to not steal Nerd Waffle's idea of Mr. Burns' light source. Just putting it out there.
I hope that gets done, man. I hope that gets spread around.
It's getting. You're gonna now, like, everybody who's watching the show is gonna go and submit that, and you're gonna have like all just pictures of Mr. Burns like
an entire collage of Mr. Burns stabbing
fighting DEATHSWORN.
just
getting punished for a terrible idea I had once.
Like it was like I think at that point we call it a it's like the sequel to Who Shot Mr. Burns. Right? DEATHSWORN stabbed Mr. Burns.
I'm sharing it on Discord, but this should be the alternative cover. If you ever make an alternative cover for DEATHSWORN, this should be it.
It'd be so weird with that. DEATHSWORN is such a he's a Conan archetype, so when he has his mask off, you barely ever see his eyes even open. So I can't imagine drawing him with these big fucked up.
Well, now you know what they look like. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, oh my god. at least this was like from the seasons like where Simpsons was really good too. Like,
Yes.
that was actually one of my favorite episodes when I was growing up. Just because of like how ridiculously stupid it was. Like the twist.
Geez.
Yeah. Like it was probably one of the stupidest twists ever, but at the same time, it was just so satisfying because you're like, "There's no way you could have saw that if like the first time you ever watched that episode." You're like, no, and it's just like it's revealed to you, and you're like, "What? Wait, really? Oh, okay."
Smithers, who is that man? It's Homer Simpson from Sector G, sir. Tell him he's
Simpson
fired.
from Sector 7G, sir.
Tell him he's
He's doing
fired.
all the voices. He's doing Wanger. He's doing Mr. Burns.
I know. This guy, Flat, just comes up.
I actually give him this as Mr. Burns is pretty good, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thank you very much. Excellent.
Oh, God.
Mr. Burns, do you want your local appointment to come in now? You're supposed to do the voice, man.
But,
Supposed to do it.
see, I was looking at the toys, the limited edition collector's edition, a collector's item of the handcrafted figures of Deathsworn and Tatiana. How many of them are available then? Because he said that's limited, extremely limited.
There was 3 on the campaign, and then that really only leaves me 1 copy and 1 personal copy. So that's kind of really
Oh wow!
like they're gone, and
3 out of 3 claimed, yeah.
yeah, they were snapped up fast, and it got me thinking about it, because they were, it says they're in a campaign, so like Tatiana's posable arms.
Well, I think part of it. Sorry to interrupt you there, and I think part of like what you've tapped into is like not only are people like looking for these old-fashioned forms of media like movies and books and comics and games and all that kind of stuff. I think they're also looking for like memorabilia from these things too, like toys and posters and like other like stuff that they can collect alongside
cards.
these. Yeah, like, and I think you've tapped into that with your toy sale, limited edition toy sale to go alongside it. You know what I mean?
It helped.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, no, yeah. When they were grabbed up so fast, I was really like, kind of thinking over, like, wow, potential here for that, like to really expand that, like, do people think that's cool because they're big, larger than life characters, and it's into the girl who molds them.
Yeah, because I was
Captain sculpted them and molded them. Is my friend. She just made the Deathsworn one like $1. She made the Deathsworn one.
I was going to say to you, I think it definitely fortifies your brand.
Yeah, like it really does. Well, let me take a look at. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, Flat.
I was going to say, like, it really legitimizes like your comic and your franchise, and your brand. Like I was saying, your brand.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, take a look at this scenario. Like, this was what, like, cartoons and comics and all these kind of things. One of the bigger things that they were worked within during the 80s and 90s was, like, I don't know if it's, like, as important now, but, like, it should be because there's complaints about, like, merchandising sales anyway these days, is the merchandise. Well, it is the merchandising sales. So, like, when it came to... As an example, like when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was adapted from the comics to make it to the TV show, well, they thought, okay, well, what's the best way we can get it to the most amount of audiences to then sell toys, right? Because like it has to at the same time not only be a cartoon, but it has to be a toy commercial so we can make money even outside of the show itself, and kids want the toys. The great thing about it is the same thing with He-Man, Transformers, you name it, like any show around those time periods. That's what they went for, and the idea was that like because these characters would have unique designs, you could easily sell them the toys because everyone wants those unique, crazy designs to then collect and then be like, well, this is the guy with many faces. This is like He-Man. This is, this is Skeletor. This is like Lion-O from Thundercats. This is, you know what I mean? Like the list adds up and up and up, so that you have, but like you can easily tell who's who, because like each of them had a very unique design to them.
Yeah.
Right. So it adds that collectability factor of like, now I have this person because you can tell it's this person. It looks like this person from the show. Right.
You know, people complained about toy sales from the 80s and 90s and all these shows and stuff like that, and how much of a scam the show was and all that because of the toys and everything. But like looking back, it's almost like, well, that's, I hate to admit it, but that seems like it's half of what made them popular and what kept things kind of going and stuff. You know?
I think my mum has still got my old He-Man toys up in like the attic or something at hers. She's still got. I had loads when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but yeah, like that's exactly, you're bringing up my point, right? The toys are part of the memorabilia that sells you on these brands.
Yeah, you don't want it just to be about the toys, but like we got a lot of really good stuff from things that were like, we need to make money on toys first, and the show's just kind of a.
Well, I think it was good. It was good for children because they were able to use them. You know, after having watched the latest episode on a Saturday morning, they could then play and, you know, further the story in their head through the act of play with the toys. Like, you know, they're using their imagination. So I don't think it is just shallow marketing. You know, oh, here's some toys.
Oh, that's sort of the weird thing where it comes into shallow marketing or something being popular, and it's like, well, when something popular or something affects people or people get into it, they get into it for it touches them and kisses them in the spot. You know, it's a hero or about heroes. You know, like, I mean, hero is sort of just a organization of everybody's existence. You know.
Yeah.
And when people are like, it's a scam, but it's also like, I mean, I wasn't, again, those are things that I sought out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Saw the merit of it. Like, it was past where it was culturally relevant. I saw it like from pure eyes, and I was like, oh, like, this is great. I love this. I love how this looks. I love these characters. I love everything about it. So yeah, I always get weird when people talk about like ideas of scam, because it's like kids are into it. You know, is that a scam? Like, I think nowadays there's way more scams because, like, with kids, because it's like apps and mobiles and photos, and that's about like appearance and superfluous things and ego, and it's about tapping into like these really nasty parts of people, when before, I mean, tapping into a kid's excitement and putting a ton of colors and making these really imaginative characters to make them go crazy over it and make their imagination go crazy. It's like, that's good stuff, man. We need some more of that.
It's funny because like
genuinely trying to make popular characters.
It's funny because growing up, you know, like I heard my friends' parents and my parents being like, "Oh my God, $20 for this action figure? Like, that's expensive. Can't believe the things are putting out for kids." I mean, it's to be fair, it's probably more expensive than what they played with. But now you look at it, it's like kids got like, and I love technology, don't get me wrong, but kids got like an iPad and like, or a tablet and a cell phone, and like spends $500 on like loot crates on Star Wars Battlefront 2 or something,
Fortnite.
and like Fortnite. It's
Roblox.
like all of a sudden that $20 action figure isn't seeming so crazy, you know?
Oh, I remember when I was a kid and I wanted a Buzz Lightyear action figure that had the 3 buttons on the front, and it would have different.
So it could replace your Woody.
And it would have all the different voice sound bites from the movie, and it had like the wing button as well that made his wings pop out. And I said, I really wanted this action figure. And I said to my mum, "Oh, can't we just go down Grandma and Granddad's 26 times? Because it cost about 26 quid, right?
Yeah.
£26. I said, can't we just go round Grandma and Granddad's 26 times? Because he always used to give me £1 pocket money every time we'd visit. She's like, Mum was like, scorning me, going, "Andrew, you can't talk like that. You can't expect."
You can't do that. Let's go. That's a good idea. Mama needs a new pair of shoes too. Got to go around 287 times.
I think she ended up getting like a neighbor or something who went on holiday to like Florida, like Disneyland, Florida, and ended up buying one for me. It's like, oh, that must have been a hell of a lot more expensive. I would have preferred to just gone round Grandma and Granddad's 26 times.
Yeah.
I think I've still got that toy as well somewhere.
Those are the ones I remember. Those, like, they had ones where they were like, they were made like the figures in the movie. Like Woody was soft and stuff. Like he had the ragdoll kind of body, and Buzz was like all that like hard plastic and stuff.
Yeah,
I think I remember those.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
Yeah, and you got some cool stuff from toys too. Like, growing up, I got a couple Spider-Man toys or whatever, and then or let's say like Transformers, I guess, is a better example. But like, you get this really cool Transformer, and then you'd go and you'd watch the show or whatever, and it'd be like, oh, this is cool. They got this character in the show of this toy. They could have just made like Optimus Prime and Megatron and whatnot, and that's it. But they had all these cool side things. Like with Spider-Man, there's all sorts of different Spider-Man, like a symbiote suit Spider-Man, iron suit Spider-Man, back when it was like a gray suit, and then you got to see that in like the Spider-Man TV show in the 90s. And you got to see how much of a dick that action figure was as a person. And
I love that suit, that silver suit, the real block.
Yeah, you never see it in the Spider-Verses anymore. Like, you get to see the Iron Spider, but it's the Tony Stark Iron Spider suit or whatever. But you never see like the rich billionaire Spider-Man in the gray, sort of like the gray iron suit. That like owns his own Daily Bugle or whatever. Yeah. Like I think both should be in it, but it's weird. Like nowadays they seem to omit certain Spider-Man suits from the 90s in Spider-Verse stuff, and it'd be nice to see like a whole, like, that's one of the cool things they could do with toys, is they could do really out there alternate dimension universe, like alternate toys of the character, you know what I mean? Spawn did a lot of that. Every toy company did that. They'd make the main lines, and then you get awesome toy lines like Marvel Legends, and they gave you like a comic book and a piece to a bigger, like I got Apocalypse and I got the Sentinel, and you get an action figure.
Yeah. No, I have. Well, it's not really a story. It's just part of my like comic making DNA.
Yeah.
They had those Marvel Legends, and there was one of Blackheart.
Yeah.
It was the big fucking. He was like looking slimy and looking in crazy dreadlocks and stuff. And the comic that came with it was Hearts of Darkness, which is a crossover between Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Punisher, and it's drawn by John Romita Jr. of John Romita Jr., like the greatness of John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest thing ever. Like, I loved that comic more than that toy. And I remember it was that first time I was like, movie came after that. And it was the first time I saw like a movie, like I was a comic movie, and I was like, these movies ain't shit. These movies are fucking. I'm done with these, because I saw Blackheart. They were like, "There's Blackheart," and it's like the dude from Green Day, and I'm like, "Where's this big fucking giant, like lizard-looking, dreadlocky Blackheart?" Like,
yeah.
And yeah, man, that book is insane. That's cool stuff. But I want to do that with toys. Were like picked up so fast. I was thinking about that and talking to the girl who sculpted them for me. I want to revamp it, and I want to streamline like the actual making, but there's more figures.
Yeah.
Held them up a bit because now she's like, I've seen some of the stuff she's done recently for action figure stuff, and she knows how to do all like the proper pivot joints, and she can do interchangeable heads and all this stuff. And so I want to do stuff like that with DEATHSWORN, where because when he's in this gladiator arena thing at the start, and he has these cool like armor sleeves he puts on, so I want to be able to do like interchangeable arms with that, do a masked helmet and an unmasked helmet, and dye to resin this time and take some of the hours out of painting it, and just find a way to really streamline it and get it out and get it. But I want to do extra stuff with it. I want to do mini comics for each of the figures,
Yeah. Well, it was really cool because there was one I got because I only collected the first 2 sets, but in one of the first 2 sets, I think there was a Spider-Man. It came with like Amazing Fantasy number 15, which was the first appearance of Spider-Man, and it was kind of cool because you'd never be able to get your hands on Amazing Fantasy number 15 like legitimately. This was just like promotional comic though, so it was cool that they allowed you to be able to get that with the figure, with a piece of a bigger figure,
One of the
You
things
can like build a figure sets, right?
Yeah, the Marvel Legends, yeah, the ones with the build a figure, yeah.
Things that's in my sort of, I guess,
wish list.
Flattmeister. It seems weird calling you Flattmeister. Yeah, you probably know this because you're like, we're the EU guys. But I couldn't, like, there was no comic book shop around when I was a kid, unless you went way into town. So you have to pick them up at newsagents, and the newsagents have these they're like the Walmart guys where do you have those?
Sorry, you broke up then. You went a bit robotic on my end. Oh.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yes, my Discord voice connected. His signal's gone a bit skewiff. Not sure what's going on there. You guys still there?
I think everyone's going a little robotic right now.
It started to sort itself out a little bit. So, Carl, you were saying about news agents that had comics, and that's when you went a bit robotic. You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, right, you went stone quiet then. I'm like, hello?
I was like that too, and I can hear no one. But
right, it's gone clear. Sorry, you can repeat your question
We
again.
do apologize.
Yeah, I was talking about those books, the comics that you get in the newsagents, because I couldn't go to the comic shops when I was a kid, so it was always newsagents.
Yeah, like W.H.
And
Smith.
you get those ones that came out like weekly or whatever, and there was the 3 issues in one. They had the card stock cover and that kind of cool paper. It wasn't like glossy paper, but it wasn't newsprinty. They'd have like Wolverine and Gambit, and then they ran out of Gambit stories, so they start doing Wolverine and Deadpool. It'd be 3 stories, and you'd have like one modern one, one sort of older one, and then you'd have like one really old one in the back, or it would be like for some other character. So that's what the Wolverine and Deadpool ones would be. It'd be 2 Wolverines and 1 Deadpool. But for the Spider-Man ones and stuff, they would do a really old book in the back. And so if like Electro was the villain in the modern story, then in the back they would reprint the old Steve Ditko issue of Spider-Man with Electro. And so it was so cool. I remember there being one with Mysterio. Mysterio was the current bad guy, and then in the back they had the Mysterio, like when Mysterio was introduced. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And like, it was a weird way to get in the comics because you're like completely aware of like continuity of how the art form changes and evolves, and like the styles evolve, and you understand like what makes a style look like it's from a different period. It's like a art history lesson. It's like a storytelling lesson. Like it's all this stuff all in one.
Yeah,
it was like super cool to get into it.
I wish I got into comics more like when I was a young kid. I think the only things I used read were like secondhand Beano comics. You know, like Dennis the Menace.
My grandfather used to pick up comics at. Well, first of all, I had a nerdy older cousin, and second of all, my grandfather used to pick up comics at flea markets and yard sales and stuff, and he just would. I'd just read whatever he had around, and I also thought the art was cool. So on the stuff I thought the art was cool, I'd be like, "Hey, Grampy, can I have this?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, but you're gonna have to pay for it." He would charge me money to take comics from, because I think he sold them back to people or something like that, or sold them to people too. So anyways, yeah, one year for my birthday he gave me money, like $50 or something like that, and he was like, I was like, "Oh, cool," and I was like, "Can I have some comics?" Thinking he'd give me some comics. He's like, "Yeah." Anyways, he ended up taking it of my birthday money. So I used to read comics, just whatever I could get my hands on at my grandfather's place.
I was going to ask, Nikki Harris in the chat is asking, will the book have a spine or staples?
So the
DEATHSWORN.
one, which is the 80+ page colored book, that's gonna be spine. It's gonna be perfect bound. I even have like, since I was trying out printer, and even though half of it is like not done yet, but yeah, that's gonna be complete spine. And the Ashcan, I'm playing with it because I can get the Ashcan, because it's 46 pages, so I can do something cool with that. But I don't know. I kind of like that. I'm aiming for it to be trashy, so I might just try to keep it. Ashcan most likely will be staple, but that's cool. It's manga size, so it's like A5 sized, and it's just like this cool, trashy black and white, like beat after action beat story.
Yeah. We're coming up to about the hour mark. Was there any other questions you guys had for Karl, or anyone in the chat have any other questions for Karl before we wrap up?
Yeah. If someone came to you and said, "Hey, I'm looking to make comic books. I want to make a comic. I have an idea in mind, and I want to make a comic book," what would be the best advice you could give them?
I have such a weird perspective on this because I do everything.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know. You could maybe like a little.
But I always kind of, I mean, for me, it's way more of a, yes, I would just say commit to it. I've said this in a couple of interviews, guys. There's a couple of interviews, but everybody, there are people that have comics on paper, and there are people that have comics in their head. And fucking everybody has a comic in their head. So don't be one of those people. Get down to it. Don't be afraid to start it. You know, there's plenty of, like, in DEATHSWORN, there was points where, you know, I'd leave on a cliffhanger and I didn't know how I was going to get them out of it. Go, and I knew where the story had to move, but I wasn't 100% sure that the page count, that the layout, that whatever would work, you know, visually or with the story or with the space. You get down and you have to restructure it and find a way out of it. You know, first of all, you have to find a smarter way out of it. It works better with the story. It's going to be faster. It's going to be, you know, work more fluid. It's going to join things together more. A better story, you know, when you put yourself in that corner and you can fight your way out of it. I just think commit to it, you know, just commit to it. Just go.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Switch? Did you have any?
I can't really think of anything that comes to mind. I mean, like, honestly, like, if you like the '80s aesthetic and you know, you want to, and you like this kind of, like, you know, ladies that look beautiful and like big muscular guys, I mean, this literally looks like something that you might be into if you like that aesthetic. Like, you like He-Man, you like Thundercats, stuff like that. This book looks like it's pretty much up your alley, like a bit more adult oriented, but like definitely with that style in mind.
It's I actually have a funny story about that because that's if you like the visuals of DEATHSWORN, like you're it's something that you're gonna like. It's kind of like they're tied together. But I did going to like events and stuff around here. Did some art fair, comic art fair. I show up with my 80s throwback like action adventure, like pure escapist comic, and it's big and bold, and I have a big standee and everything with me. And I come in, and it's like all these like we're like middle aged, and barely any of them have comics, and they're all selling like postcards with like drawings of cats on them and stuff. I'm like, what? And I set up my table, and we can't put up the standee, and I'm like, okay. And I'm just kind of sitting there depressed. I'm looking at all these people come in, and I'm like, oh fuck, like this is not my audience. These people are selling like mugs with like little kitty cats and stuff on it. These cutesy sort of paperweight stuff. And then this same thing happened, right? I went and I took a print. I had like an A3 print of the cover, and I taped it to the front of my table so people could see what I'm doing. And the exact same thing happened. This girl would walk in, and right behind them would be this big guy, big beard. He's wearing like a hoodie with like a metal logo on it, or like a Doom game logo on it or something. And he has his head down, and he's being dragged into this thing. And this dude does not want to go here with his girlfriend. And every time that guy would pick up his head, and he would see the DEATHSWORN poster I had taped to the front of the table, and he'd immediately walk over and pick up a copy.
Oh my! You could tell it's like this is the only good thing here. But I know I'm not allowed.
I can tell like that's the audience. It's like those guys were the guys coming in that went, I like that. That's the thing,
Yeah.
Base vampire like axe and blood and boob comic doesn't sell well around like middle-aged women selling postcards with cats on them,
Like, no, it makes sense. It's just like there is a specific crowd that your book appeases to, but like he's just like, I wish I could pick it up, but I can't right now. Right? Like, no, I'm not here. I'm here for my girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Oh, I get. Maybe I'll see it later.
Let me buy a couple of paperweights, and then I'll see what I have left.
Yeah. Oh God. Like that's the idea, right?
Find you a girl that can do both, that likes the kitty stuff and the mugs and stuff, and the girl that likes DEATHSWORN too.
I have a DEATHSWORN mug. I should sell that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
One that you drank out of. Like, here, buy my mug that I drank out of for $50.
I don't know. You can get mugs on like TeePublic and stuff. Go TeePublic. DEATHSWORN mug.
TeePublic, like just you're gonna get like TeePublic just to like sponsor you. Like, yeah, TeePublic, sponsor me, bro.
Yeah. You can get like throw pillows and everything on there. It's a complete clash of branding. Like, let me drink my chamomile tea from my DEATHSWORN mug while I sit on my DEATHSWORN throw pillow. Let me get my DEATHSWORN blanket and tuck myself in.
Tatiana waifu pillow.
It's like a knitted quilt. DEATHSWORN.
A granny blanket.
Yeah.
It has like the annoying like frill at the all around it.
So was it the estimated shipping is March of next year? So not that far along then.
Well, I kind of pushed it back. I mean, I just went off of what John Mayer tells people to do and sort of myself, and I was like, let me push it back and of leaning into that because there's stuff I kind of want to redo.
Yeah.
It's cool. I have the time to redo it now.
So
And a lot of the main book is already done. And that's why, I before it was being put out by someone else, and they were putting it out in floppies, and then that kind of went to hell myself to do kind of my way and do my better way, and going back and editing everything, and the whole book's being relettered. So it's basically being rewritten kind of, because back and being way more not only confident, like just with the like, but being more confident with these characters and kind of knowing more of what they'd say, looking back and being like, they wouldn't say that. Did I have them say that back then?
So just in case anybody like, this is important information, like if you feel like picking me up a copy of DEATHSWORN for my birthday. My birthday's in March, so just throwing it out there.
Well, get your fan art in, and you might win it. Get
yes. Get the Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna include an audio clip of Flattmeister. I'm gonna write a little line for Flattmeister to say, and I'm gonna get him to say it, and I'm gonna send it in with the picture.
Oh, so it's gonna be multimedia. Great.
It's gonna be. I'll even make a short film for it too. Like, I'll cut out. I'll like print off DEATHSWORN and Mr. Burns, and I'll put them on popsicle sticks, and then I'll get like a cardboard box, and I'll put like a background in it, and I'll just like make this like motion, like I'll spend a lot of. I know I'll fix it in post. I'll put some 3D in it. I'll go the whole 9 yards and send it all in.
Yeah, all right. Don't try and butter him up before he's come to the deciding who's the winner.
To be honest, it'll probably just be a stick figure of Mr. Burns glowing. That'll be the final thing. I'll be like, okay, time to start all this stuff. Yeah, this is good enough. Here you go.
Like, you can kind of make out as an axe.
Yeah.
But you're done
Is that a long arm or an axe?
Both.
Maybe it's both.
But you've done really well with this IndieGoGo so far, with 15 days left, and you've 144 backers so far.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Was that 307% of your 2,000? Oh, so that was your original goal, was £2,431.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like, seen in pounds is even like that's wrecked out.
And then like far surpassing that, you've reached £7,476.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything that I've done, because all my audience is in the States, so I was everything in euros, but knowing that it's going to be viewed in dollars. So I mean, I priced it what it would be in euros to be $3,000 in dollars.
What would it
So
be
yeah, in dollars it's way more impressive, because in dollars I'm like at $9,000, but
Yes,
not so. I mean, it's still
8,241 euros. But let's see what it's like in
Canada.
I'm gonna start putting into like yen or some sort of like insane
South
African dollar.
Yeah, South African rand. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, be like we
140,661 rand. That does sound pretty impressive.
I need to get going though, guys. I mean, so
I was gonna say, are we coming to the sort of close?
Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna say goodbye. Have a good one. Avita, send good, all that. But I do need to peace out while you guys finish up your finals there.
That's all right. Take care, Switch. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, in US dollars, $9,129. That does look impressive, doesn't it? In US dollars.
Yeah.
Did you say Canadian dollars? Didn't you, Corey? Sorry, Nerd.
Yeah.
$12,147 Canadian dollars.
Oh, that's impressive, dude. Those Canadians must think I'm hot shit.
Well, our dollars are less.
Where's my great British pound?
75 cents per. I think it's up to 75 cents to the American dollar. So, so I have to pay for a dollar, something that's $1. I have to pay $1.25. And so if I were to buy something for $1 from the U.S., I'd have to pay $1.25. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like some, especially Canadians, I think they get screwed over a lot with shipping. I tried to keep the shipping.
It's not the creator's fault. It's part of it is the exchange rate sucks, and part of it is Canada Post, which is their postal service, just fucking guts everybody, and they don't even treat their workers right. Like the workers go on strike every year before Christmas, and like just shipping. Even if I were to ship to like within Canada, like say, I don't know, Ontario, it would be like ridiculous. You might as well send mail to any other country than the same country. So it's our postal service.
Yeah.
Just for anybody who's planning on buying the book, it's and or any other creators that indie creators we have on here, whether they're from Canada or US or whatever, just it's really just the postal service. It's not the creator's fault that there's high shipping in Canada. Just sucks.
Oh, well, that should affect Canada creators. Like that wouldn't affect me shipping into you guys.
Yeah.
But I kind of got it pretty good over here, and there's good levels you can get up to if you're depending on what you're shipping and the rate that you're shipping out. And so that's definitely something to grow to, where if this thing keeps growing, keeps building, and I get to to do stuff to keep stuff up and getting out in between campaigns or whatever. And to really get that down and build this up and make it into something. People keep telling me, they keep saying that printed and distributed in the US. Okay, you're literally asking me to take 99% of my business and give it to other people and pay them to do it. And you're pretending that it's going to be cheaper and better for me. And I'm like, no, dude, no, I know what I'm doing.
So yeah, we've come up to about the end of the show. I think a few people have in the audience are gone. But is there anything else you'd like to say, Karl, just before we wrap up?
Yeah, well, Karl O Rowe everywhere. Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, I think I put that all in the description.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, well. But yeah, that's that. And check out DEATHSWORN back at. Watch the video. The video is cool. And yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
No problem, man. It was great having you on. Great laugh. Corey, did you have any final words?
Yeah, be the change you want to see, and remember to hug the person next to you.
Keep it tusty.
Keep it tusty.
And a big thank you to everyone that joined. Big thank you to you as well, Karl, for taking the time to come on the show. I know it's pretty late for us. It's about 12 now.
Yeah. Well, I might still be up. I've been doing some crazy hours promoing this thing, but
are you a bit of a night owl, are you?
Yeah, I mean, just for this time. I mean, I was on that. It was really great, the Drawn and Quarter fan edition. And oh my god, dude, it was like 6 a.m. I was finishing it up. Oof. Worth it. It was super fun.
But I always say this to all the creators that we have on, but because the high caliber of quality in every creator's comic that we've had on has just been absolutely fantastic. It's great, it's really great to see that you actually have passion for the medium, and we on the Flat Pack Show, we always want more creators to come forward. If you want to reach out to us, hit anyone up in the Flat Pack Show on Twitter. Just send us a DM or a tweet if you'd love to be on the show. But we're always looking to have creators on. We always love showcasing and talking to creators. So once again, I've been Flattmeister. It's been Nerd Waffle.
See you later.
It's been Switchpoint, who's just gone. It was Crumple Point, who couldn't be here today, and of course, a big thank you to our special guest, Karl O Rowe.
It's fun.
We thank you for being on. And so
Again.
with
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
that, so for the people
I don't
watching,
know. I just don't know this guy.
That's how I like it. I like to keep people guessing.
That's how he rolls. So with that, don't forget the Flat Pack Show to don't forget to share it all on social media. It's every Wednesday, 11 p.m. GMT. That's about 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll catch you on the next episode. I'm not sure what we've got going for next week, but we'll keep you posted.
Join us next week when we sit here and twiddle our thumbs. No, just joking. We're gonna have an awesome show next week.
Yeah. So with that, we'll catch you in the next episode, everyone. Take it easy. Bye.